A long time ago, I made a video on how the first Fnaf movie could be great, and it was, and still is, the biggest and most viewed video on the channel. And with the Fnaf 2 movie coming out at the end of the year, I wanted to give my thoughts on how the Fnaf 2 movie could be great. I'll be focusing on many different aspects that can contribute to the movie's overall success. I'll also look at the first movie and see what this one can do better or build off of. Okay, let's not waste any more power, let's begin. Okay, now that it's been a couple of years since the first movie came out, which is crazy. Did it age well? At first people had some mixed reviews. It was definitely for the fans. Now I agree that the movie could have been so much scarier in terms of the ambience and the jump scares. The only jump scare that got me was the Balloon Boy one, and I am not ashamed to admit that. The animatronic designs were phenomenal, and they all looked really good. The details and structure was really well done. And of course, Springtrap was also really cool. He looked amazing, and William Afton, played by Matthew Lillard, he absolutely killed that role. As far as the story goes, we got introduced to Mike, Abby, and Vanessa. Now, they make a good trio, but how can you forget the most important character in the entire franchise? Doug. Just kidding. But other than the characters, the story was something that even some FNAF fans didn't really like. Now, I would prefer it if they stuck to the game storyline where Mike needs to survive the 5 nights instead of sleeping. But all in all, of course, they left the movie open for a sequel, which is what we're getting into. I just wanted to quickly recap overall. I like the first FNAF movie. I'll give it a solid 3.5 stars out of 5. Let me know down below how it aged for you. Okay, the first thing I wanted to talk about is the characters and the animatronics. FNAF 2 introduced so many unique and interesting animatronics. Over 11 different ones were introduced. Iconic characters like the withered animatronics, the toys, and even the ghostly ones. Based off the trailer, we see Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Mangle, Balloon Boy, the Endoskeleton, Toy Freddy, and perhaps Springtrap as well. Now, this is all cool and stuff, but there could be one downside. As to there's so many animatronics, unlike the game, they can scatter throughout the night. In a film, everyone is limited to screen time, so some animatronics won't be on screen as much. I personally believe we won't see much of the Endoskeleton just because he's less known than everyone else. The originals in the first movie are probably going to end up being the withered ones, so that's pretty cool. A live-action withered Bonnie is something I'm really looking forward to. Other than the animatronics, in terms on the human character side of things, Mike, Abby, William, and Vanessa will return. I also hope that they throw in another Golden Freddy cameo and a Shadow Bonnie Easter egg, one where Mike is walking around the pizzeria, and in the background we can just slightly see the silhouette of Shadow Bonnie. Now, there are 2 other people on the IMDb page, but they are uncredited, so I'm not sure who they're going to play. Perhaps side characters, but who knows. Let's move on to the next pillar of success. Okay, so where is this movie going to take place? It can't take place in the actual FNAF 2 pizzeria, which kind of sucks since that's a really cool pizzeria. The reason I say this is because it takes place before FNAF 1, which is in 1983, and when the first movie takes place, it's kind of like a mystery. It either takes place in the mid-90s or in the early 2000s. But in the trailer, Abby is seen looking at a new sign on the original Freddy's Pizza, so perhaps it's a mix of both, but we'll see. The trailer shows us we're going to be moving around a lot, perhaps starting off in the pizzeria and moving to what seems to be a county fair and a school of some sorts. And to Mike and Abby's house. Here we see the toy animatronics going to attack them. Now, I'm a really big fan of a fair and carnival setting here. I wonder how this fits into the story. I'll give my predictions on that a little later. It seems like they want to use the surrounding area because there are a lot of animatronics. They don't want to bunch everyone in all into one pizzeria, so this makes a lot of sense. Okay, how can this story be really good? Here's my pitch and prediction. In the opening shot of the trailer, we see the fair, and what I think is this is a marketing scheme by the new Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria. It's a way to get their name out there. We see the wheel spin with the faces of different animatronics. I think this could be like a photo opportunity for people to take pictures with that specific animatronic that the wheel lands on. To kind of prove this, in this image we see Toy Freddy walking around the fair, and no one behind them looks scared. We can see people smiling and having fun, so clearly he isn't out to kill anyone here. I also believe we will see more backstory on Vanessa. I believe this because near the end of the trailer, we see William Afton standing at the end of the hall. He doesn't appear to be withered or physically mangled, which is probably a flashback scene to show Vanessa's home life with William Afton, showing us the father that he is and was. We also see this image, which is a behind-the-scenes picture. We see William Afton standing at the top of the stairs, looking at Vanessa. This is probably another flashback scene as well. Now, who is controlling these animatronics? I think it's William Afton. Based off this shot here, a hand is seen hitting the Showtime button, which is probably like a doomsday button to turn the animatronics into killers. Because after this point in the trailer, that's when the animatronics start to go and try to kill people. This is William working behind the scenes. Which is probably why Abby left this note for Mike. Gone to fix my friends, because they have turned rogue, and also when this paper is yellow color, that's a Golden Freddy Easter egg. Just kidding, but you never know. My question is, who is behind the new location? I mean, is William Afton taking out loans while he's Springtrap? Or is there another mysterious figure? Perhaps FAZBEAR Entertainment will be introduced in this one. Finally, one of the story subjects, why are all the animatronics going after Mike and Abby? I believe that William knows that Abby is the only one who can undo the control William has over the toy animatronics. Other than that, the overall story is still kind of a mystery. Now, for another thing that's really important in this movie, it's the horror aspect. This movie can be so much scarier than the first. Personally, I believe the first one wasn't scary at all. It was fun. Here, there's an opportunity for be absolutely terrifying. The scariest looking animatronic is Mangle. This shot of her looks really cool. I know that the toy animatronics aren't scary looking, but that's where the withered animatronics come in. They look more intimidating and scary. If the movie does its jump scares well, it can get some good scares out of the audience. Aside from the scares, I hope that there's more gore. FNAF is a very violent universe, but it's always implied or talked about. I want to see some more blood. I'd like to see Mangle bite someone's frontal lobe. The violence and the power of the animatronic would be absolutely amazing if shown on screen. Another key factor that plays into the horror factor is the mature rating. The first movie was rated PG-13, and I'm guessing that this one will be as well, which some people find it to be a problem. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. As long as the movie is fun and has some scares, hey, it's okay with me. This was really fun to do. As you know, I love FNAF, and I hope this movie is really good because FNAF 2 is one of my favorite FNAF games. I really hope that this franchise does really well at the box office so that we can continue getting movies. What I'm really curious about is how a FNAF 3 movie would look like, but hey, I guess you have to wait and see how this one does. Let me know down below, what do you guys want to see in the FNAF 2 movie? Write it down below in the comments. Also, thank you all so much for the recent support on the channel. I'm serious. Thank you all so much. Please consider checking out some of my other videos, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.